Blessings to all. Welcome to the Less is More podcast for January 1st, 2018. Woo! Whatever. I have, I have a little bit less. I got a little bit less energy. I did a 52-minute podcast that was edited, had audio laid down. It had all the fixings. It had the title page. It had the closing credits. I stayed home all New Year's Eve and cranked this bad boy out. And I'm very disappointed because, as some of you guys know, in my previous post on Instagram, I was uploading the actual thing. I wanted to upload it onto my phone first so I could do any last minute edits on YouTube. On my phone, while doing a last minute edit, I deleted the whole shit. So I said, fuck it. I will wake up tomorrow morning and do it for the new year instead of before the new year. So here we are now. It was a great podcast. I had wine in it and all that stuff. I know that doesn't constitute a great podcast, but I just thought that I put a different spin on it. I'm recording this completely off the iPad. So that's how I'm gonna do it until I get my camera set up with the tripod and my desk. My desk comes in. I ordered a beanbag chair for my apartment. I'm trying to make a nice studio feel in my room, primarily, and then we can move on to bigger, better studios. There's a couple studios in New York that do podcast production for cheap, so reach out to some of those people, and I definitely want to take this podcast to the next level. This is the first video I'm doing for the Less is More podcast, so I definitely think that eventually I want to start reaching out to sponsorships. I know I don't have a following yet. I have a little bit. My views on YouTube are pretty shitty. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. But that was because they're mostly audio, and I really want to do more, expand more on the video side, video production, and more of the editing on that end, and then lay the audio down after. So we're gonna do a few episodes like this. iPad is pretty clear though, to be honest. I'm not complaining. It's pretty clear for the most part, and yeah, let's get right into it. Yeah, let's get right into the shits. I don't really have any shits to get into. Oh, let's get into some hacky. I'm watching Dave Chappelle right now. Look at that on silent. A Dave Chappelle marathon. That's how you start the new year. Some hacky terms for 2018. New year, new me. Let's get into that, man. That is the hackiest term. That term is so trash. It's not a new year, new me. It's the new year. It's literally the same you, with a few minor alterations. Is that the word I'm supposed to use? Alternatives? No, I think alterations because I sew. Yeah, I'm a sewer. I like to sew. It calms me down. But new year, new me is so hacky because it's like the only way to be a new you is if you cut off all the negative people in your life, the negative energy, the negative vices. There's a lot of things to work on before you're ever the new you. So that is an annoying thing to say, but I get why people say it because they look to become a new person in the new year and they want to make changes, but you can't really change your situation if you don't change yourself. You know what I mean? As cheesy as that sounds. So, that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm admitting I'm the same person from a few hours ago, literally. But, for example, this podcast is going to change. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't address last year that I need to address now. What happened to Edith. I've been promoting that since February of last year. And that blew up in my face, negotiations. Not so much negotiations, more like plans just broke down for my DP and I, so we just went our separate ways. And a DP is an integral part of the filmmaking process. If you don't have a good DP, you're not going to get very far in terms of content creation, shots, storyboarding, story editing. All that is with the DP, camera work. So when my DP was just not communicating and not holding up the end of the bargain that person's supposed to hold up, then you have to be professional about it and cut ties. And it was unfortunate because Edith was I had all the actors and actresses ready for that, and it definitely sucked. It's like, oh well, they had their tickets ready to come to New York and shoot, and I had to tell them individually, yeah, it's off. So that was but it was also a learning moment too, because now it's like there are people who will be a part of a project for the love of the art, for free, but it doesn't hurt to incentivize people. So that's what I'm going to start doing from now on. Any project that I do, it's going to be incentivized. Whether it's equity in the film, if we sell it, whether it's producer credit, whether it's writing credit, whether it's, large monetary gains. So that's how I want to move in my filmmaking career from now on. Yeah, man. But I think this is going to be a good year in terms of, me generating content, me taking 2017 and figuring out what I have to do for 2018 in terms of reaching the level of acclaim I want to reach. And I said this all on the other podcast, which I deleted because I'm a fucking idiot. It's not about the money, because as cliche as this sounds, the money's gonna come when the product is good. So if the product is good, then the money comes later. You have to focus on the work first. The work is if the work is 100%, the money's gonna come 100%. So what I'm trying to do right now with my personal Instagram page, Finally Less, and my business Instagram page, Leaders Innovating Media, which was what LIM stands for, which is one of the things that LIM stands for. LIM is a brand I've been thinking about for years, but it really came into fruition last year, the middle of last year, and it really blossomed this year in terms of the response I'm getting, the comments, the likes. I don't do Instagram for the likes, by the way. Let's Take a Moment campaign is all for me. That's number one. I'm telling you right now, I'm my own entity. I'm my own man. I'm my own boss. I'm my own brand. Even though it's a fledgling, aspiring brand, it's growing. I post everything for me. I want to look back in 30 years and say that I put that up there. I shook that hand. I went to that award show. I went to that party. I went to that premiere. I met that actress, that actor, that producer, that writer, that director. That's all for me. Like, I don't care if I average 7 to 60 likes, which is what I average. I don't really give a fuck. I mean, Instagram is my own tool for me to look back on and be like, okay, this is my thing. So yeah, that page is up, and I'm working on getting a website. A lot of things, man, bubbling to the surface for me, so I'm excited for this year in terms of my growth as an artist, as a creator, as a writer. I wrote my first comedy drama pilot, Generation Y. I'm not going to talk too much about it on the first podcast of the year, but just know that it's good. I've never written a comedy before. I've written a lot of dramas. I work mostly in crime dramas, right? But I want to evolve, because I think comedy is the place to start in terms of the exposure and the level of recognition you'll get initially. Shout out to Jordan Peele. He did the best. He did Mad TV. He was in a comedy troupe. He was in an improv group. And then he did Key and Peele, which is critically acclaimed series, ran for 3 years, maybe 3-4 years. They might bring it back. Comedy Central, you know what I mean? Dave Chappelle, Tyrone Bigum's in the background. Shout out Dave Chappelle. But Jordan Peele did that, and he stayed in his lane for the most part. But then when it came time to do Get Out, which is, I think, not a comedy at all. It's definitely a horror movie to any African American man, to any minority. Period. It's definitely a horror movie in the fullest. So when he did that, you know, they Universal wasn't really sure that he could knock it out the park, but look what he did. It's one of the best. It was one of the highest grossing movies of 2017 by an African American director. So he broke history with that. Now it's Golden Globe nominated, I think, two times. Gotta double check that, but yeah, I'm aspiring to be that. He's one of my biggest influences in terms of his shift from comedy to more serious stuff. Now Jordan Peele is doing a series on the Underground Railroad. He's producing another film with an African American who goes undercover as a Ku Klux Klansman, which is, I can't talk today, which is crazy. That's a crazy concept and it's genius. So I think 2018 is going to be a great year for creators of old and new, and I hope to be in that new category. So keep your fingers crossed for that. Also, I guess I submitted my pilot for Generation Y to Amazon, and that was huge for me because Amazon is like, I love Netflix, right? But Amazon is trend setting in the way they do business with new creators. They have an open submission policy where you can submit ideas and all different kinds of content for consideration on their development slate. And I submitted one pilot that was 57 pages, supposed to be an hour-long crime drama. It was called The Owl. Most of you are familiar with that. I've been talking about it forever. But that didn't blow up. It didn't blow up in terms of they didn't receive it well. I submitted to them twice, and it came back both times with thoughts for editing and thoughts for you have to redo some scenes, you have to, rework the script. And I did that, and I got denied again. So, but that didn't really back me down. It really motivated me to go harder, and I submitted to them another pilot. It was called War Torn, about a bisexual female army veteran. And that was really I think that I expected to get denied because that really wasn't my story to tell. I think I could have done better with the script. It was a little bit rushed because I wanted to meet a deadline. I like being on time and I like my deadlines accordingly, but that really wasn't my story to tell. So it didn't get scrapped, but it definitely got shelved to be reworked at a later date. But Generation Y, I feel this one. It feels different to me. And even if Amazon denies Generation Y, I'm still gonna put it out, reworked, of course, pilot, redrafted, and see what happens. I'm gonna shop this one specifically to other networks because I feel like this one is gonna be a smash. I don't really say that. I say that about all my projects, but this one feels different. So yeah, a lot of things I'm working on. I'm working on getting an LLC. I'm not going to tell you much about that. It just I want to speak things into fruition, so I said it on the podcast, but there's a lot of behind the scenes things I need to do for that. I have a couple partners that want to get in to growing LIM, so that's awesome. I'm always looking to collaborate with partners and investors. So a lot of people are DMing me now on Instagram talking about raising awareness for my brand, so that's cool too. What else, man? 2018 is gonna be cool, man. I'm gonna treat it the same way I treated 2017. Don't get your expectations too high, and if you do, make sure you're rolling the dice completely. Don't hold back. That's my new philosophy. Like that, I've been doing that all year. I did that all last year. I just rolled the dice creatively, and I saw what came back, and it was good. It was good stuff this last year. I wasn't really disappointed about anything that happened, besides Edith falling apart. I met a lot of young producers coming up, a lot of directors. A couple months into July, the summer's where all the directors and all the creators really want to come out and and start shooting their content all over the city. And that's the thing about New York. New York brings out the drive, it brings out the struggle, it brings out the hustle in you. It makes you aware of things you need to do, and it makes you consistently put out shit that can be, you know, it can be recognized as something that's going to be great one day. Because I personally feel that, and it's nothing against LA, but I personally feel that if you move to LA before you've made it, before you've even got one connection, it's like a waste, because it's like people go to LA and have a feeling of all right, I made it already. I can sit back and chill. I can relax. You know, that's not really the way you should go about it, because LA is like a place that you go to LA when you're getting consistent work, when you're meeting with agents, studio executives, development executives, when you're meeting with other writers, when you want to film scenes out there, when you want to shoot on location for a series or a movie you're doing. So LA's like and LA is also like it's like the celebrity, Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive. It's all of that. It's like it's not really a place to focus. It's like a place to. It's like the women, the weed, the weather. It's like the three W's. Like New York is like it's cold and it's fucking. It leaves you bitter. New York is a place that tries to knock you on your ass, but coincidentally, it's also a place that brings you back up, and it gives you the most drive to go out and do something again. I'm really stuffy, guys. Sorry. Oh god. Do I have a cold? Maybe. But yeah, New York keeps you on your toes. It keeps you like focused and you know, it makes you hungry for more. You know what I mean? Jay-Z has an office here. Bad Boy Entertainment, like everybody, like the biggest creators, old and new, are here. Gigi Hadid lives here. Kendall lives here. Like Ryan Coogler has a place out here. You got Lena Dunham lives out here. There's a lot of like artists and actors and directors and writers that live out here, and it's just great. Jordan Peele lives in Brooklyn, and it's just great because it's like it's a whole dynamic of reaching a goal and making sure that you don't get distracted. And LA can distract you, in my opinion. So I don't think I'm ready to go out there. I don't think I would go out there if I did blow up. And blow up sounds so cheap. If I did reach a level of acclaim that, you know, was satisfactory to me, then I'm absolutely doing it. I'm absolutely going out there, and I'm gonna do my best to work. I mean, all in all, LA is a place you come to work, but New York is a place you should start at to grow whatever you're trying to grow. So that's what I'm doing here. I love this city. I don't think I'd ever leave the city. I want to definitely live here and die here. Like, this place is amazing. You know, I mean, the winters are harsh, but like, you know, I personally don't like being hot all year round or being in a warm climate all year round. I actually prefer to sleep when it's cold. Like, I hate the heat, period. So yeah, man, that's, in a nutshell, that's what we're going for. Hold on, I need to get water. I needed that so much. Okay, I needed that water. My weather says 19 degrees right now. 19 degrees. Like, that's not even funny. Yeah, this is what I did yesterday when I was creating right here. 2 bottles to myself. And I was still functioning. I did the whole editing for my podcast that I later deleted. But yeah, man, it's just nice to. I didn't do anything this year for New Year's. I just want to sit back and reflect on the year I've had and what I can do to be better and what I can do to do better. So nice cold bottles of wine, just sit back, relax, edit. It was a great New Year's for me, to be honest. So I'm actually thinking about going to see Star Wars today. Now I wanted to do Star Wars on a totally different, like, away from people. that sounds mad antisocial, but that's how I'm feeling nowadays. I really wanted to try to go see Star Wars when everybody was like either at work or early in the morning at a matinee, when I know kids were in school, but I forgot kids are not in school, they're out of school because it's winter break. So it's like, all right, do I go put up with adults who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or do I go put up with loud ass kids that won't shut up during the movie. I was like, all right, I'll pick the kids, man, because it's like, I'll just sit in the front, mind my business, and just. But this is a new theater I'm going to across the street from my apartment complex, so it's going to be a good theater. It's AMC. I always champion AMC. They got the seats, they got the innovation, they got the technology, so whatever. We'll try it out. But yeah, Star Wars, definitely got to see that. Everybody's seen it in the world. I think I'm definitely the latest to the party. It's January, so yeah. We're just getting back into the groove of things, guys. I'm gonna edit a lot of this. I'm going on 23 minutes now. Not all podcasts are going to be this short, or if you think this is long, it's not going to be this long. It's going to be according to how much I talk. The huge inspirations for this podcast, the Joe Budden podcast, the Brilliant Idiots podcast, and my favorite comedian, Bill Burr, his podcast is a huge inspiration for the first 10 episodes I did back when it was only audio. This is going to go on YouTube, maybe Vimeo. I'm going to share it on Facebook. Yeah, this is the first time I'm really going out on a limb and doing it on video. But the Less and More podcasts are going to have episodes that are going to be shot in the city. I'm trying to do a live stream. There's a lot of things I'm trying to work on. And I just need to stay focused, man. And, all the distractions, If I haven't reached out to my friends and family in a while, it's because I'm not ignoring you guys. Love y'all, but I'm just trying to get focused. I'm trying to get my life right accordingly. So I'm at a point where I don't call people. The only person I call actively is my mother, because that's my homie. That's my girl. I love her. I'm not trying to ignore my family and friends. I just, if there's nothing to talk about, we shouldn't be talking right now. As harsh as that sounds, that's the truth. And I'm trying to get my life together in terms of my creative world. So, I'm going to be focused on that for a while. Just bear with me, and for all the people who are following me, I appreciate it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to do a couple of segments on this show. More film news. That's what I'm passionate about, film and television and film production, film editing, all that stuff. But I'm gonna touch on other subjects. What's going on in the news? No politics or religion. Please get the fuck out of here with that. I don't operate in that space. Technology, the food industry, the theater industry, other brands, other startups that are on the rise. Definitely hip hop industry. Absolutely, hip hop is a huge influence in my life. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of content on this channel. I'm putting this back on the YouTube channel, and that's simply Lesinachi. Under the video tags, the Less is More podcast, and we're just gonna get it popping, man. Nothing much to say. I'm gonna sound really stuffy. I already know I'm gonna sound stuffy as hell. So sorry about that. Bear with me. I think I have a cold. I know I have a cold, but whatever. I'm gonna get back to giving you guys content, man. Thank you for hanging in there. A couple of short films I hope to shoot this year. One is Beth Hooker's Day Off. I have a new DP for that, so I'm going to get in contact with her. I'm definitely going to work. I have the whole season 2 of Generation Y already planned out in my head. Season 1 is actually written and outlined and drafted. And episode 2 for season 1 is being completed right now as we speak. I just want to take a break and do the podcast. So yeah, I'm working, man. If no studio or streaming service picks it up, I'm just going to have to shoot it and put it on YouTube and see if it blows up. I mean, that's my only other option, do it myself. I've been doing things myself for a while now, so shooting this pilot wouldn't be a stretch, it wouldn't be too far out of my way, too far out of my realm to do. I'm going to edit this video, so I have the editing down for iMovie, Adobe Premiere. I have a friend who has Final Cut Pro that I work off of, so a lot of things on the production tip. It's going to be a good year. We say that every year, right? But you have to actually mean it when you say it. So I didn't mean it when I said it for 2017. I mean it this year. So we'll see what happens, man. Blessings to all tuning into the 11th episode of the Less and More podcast. 11. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Lesinachi, and we'll take it from there, man. Thank you so much for your continued support. More things coming to you this year. Shout out to all my fellow creators who are doing the damn thing, rolling the dice as they should at 24, 25, 28, your mid-20s. All you should be doing is taking risks. Take calculated risks and make sure that just hit the lotto in terms of being able to expand your horizons content wise. Do what makes you happy. I'm a fan. I love 9 to 5s. That's at one point. That's all I want to do was have a 9 to 5 job. But then I realized that if it's not for me, I'm not gonna force it, and the right one's gonna come along when the right one comes along. So I wish nothing but the best for all my listeners and all my fans, followers, whatever you guys want to call yourselves, supporters, and just know that better things are coming. 2018. Stay positive, positive vibes, and that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna try to do an episode every week, and then gradually grow to 2 episodes a week. I'm working on a co-host. I'm in negotiations with her. I think she's probably pissed at me because the communication's been lacking, but I apologize to her. We're going to get back on track. And thank you. Thank you for tuning in.